And we are live. Welcome to the window to our mind number 35. We are almost done with the last season. How are you, DC?
I'm doing good.
That's amazing. What about you, Dre?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, Wednesday. Halfway through the week. Hey, Miss Sparkles. How's it going? Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How you doing, Multi?
Doing great as well. A lot of very fun behind the scene talk. And today we will talk about neutrality. And that was what we were supposed to talk about last week, but we eventually postponed and moved it to today.
Even though
Um,
we had a replacement DC last week, I was a jerk and said, no, I refuse. If DC is not here, I will not be neutral about this. I don't know, man. That's on me. I wasn't feeling it last week, but I'm glad DC can be here to help talk about neutrality.
yeah, yeah. Neutrality. When we say that, what do you think of DC?
I just think of it's kind of like neutral, where the person isn't necessarily bad, but they're not like the best people in the world. That's kind of what I think of neutrality, where it's kind of like you're in the middle.
No, don't give in, Multi. Come on. Be neutral. Your shoulders don't have to match your shirt.
Hell yeah. It gets still joined.
That's a
Amazing.
good explanation of it, DC. I like that a lot. I'm sorry I took away from what you were saying. I just saw Multi interacting with the chat, and I had to get in on that.
That's amazing. So Sparkle, you got the link. You can join. I got distracted. My brain is melt right now. I don't know why. Like I did sleep so much today that I'm like peak energy. I don't know how and why.
This is peak Multi energy. Wow. Well, I'm jealous that you got to sleep. I don't know how. I don't feel like I ever can. Multi, what would you consider neutrality?
When we don't really have if it okay, I will rewind. Neutrality could be when we don't really have an opinion because we don't really care about it, or because we don't really have an opinion. Like someone tells us left or right, and I'm like, I don't care, so I'm neutral because I don't necessarily say left or right. I think that summarized well neutrality. I think.
I get that too.
Not being necessarily indecisive, but not really making a decision. It's like it's not something I care about, so I'm neutral about it.
Ooh, so you think apathetic, apathy, like just not caring, would be neutral?
Yeah.
What about being cynical, like it both sides suck, so I'm not going to choose one? Is that the same as being neutral?
That's a hard question because to think of it, you criticize both sides. You actually take a side, but not necessarily the side they want you to take. So, is it really neutral? I don't think so, because you have a position, but it's not the one they want you to get or to take. So I don't think it's neutral, actually, what you just mentioned.
Fair enough. So I don't remember why the hell I suggested neutrality. Right now in this strongly political time in the U.S., it makes me think it's a political thing, but I don't know. We have just been or there are at least two kind of big wars going on in the world. So I'm not sure if it was more that or if it was kind of more of like a psychological neutrality. Like, can you ever actually be neutral on a subject, or do you have biases and implicit biases that necessarily kind of don't allow you to be truly neutral, no matter like what the subject is? I don't know. I'm just wondering if neutrality ever truly exists. Like we call like Switzerland neutral because it like won't declare war on anybody else, but I don't know. Is it more than that? Is it kind of not agreeing with any side? It still seems like I've seen them kind of agree with other parts. I don't know. Switzerland is kind of a different weird place where they have bombs set up at like all the, whatever you'd call that, like in all the bridges and tunnels and everything to get into Switzerland. So it's kind of not just neutral. It's like walling themselves off. So even that, like, I wonder if that is really neutrality. It seems like they're still concerned. So I don't know. Like, I'm not sure if it's absence of like strong feelings or if it is just not engaging with either side in a disagreement. I guess there's kind of different ways of looking at it. And I honestly can't remember why I put it forward.
I think both are kind of right. If you don't engage, maybe you're neutral, but the moment there's a reason behind it, maybe that takes away the neutrality because you actually have a position, but that's your position. Any thoughts on what I just said? Am I crazy town right now?
Yeah, but I don't know. Is there anything you're absolutely neutral about? Like, I think we all have pretty strong opinions or feelings on almost anything. I don't know. I'm kind of struggling to find anything I'm like truly neutral about. Like, we all have preferences, you know.
I'm thinking about it. I have no idea what I would be neutral about. Like any of the ongoing war, I think when there was war, both sides are wrong. But again, that goes back to what I said, that I can have my stance there. So I'm not really neutral about war. I don't know. I think it's almost impossible to be completely neutral after talking to you guys.
Well, I'm sorry to be a downer. That was kind of the conclusion that I came to today when I was thinking about neutrality. It's like, it depends, because like if it's just not supporting like either side in a conflict or whatever, yeah, I mean, like we can all do that. We can all remain. I don't know if we can truly remain impartial, but we can not make a formal decision to help either side or support either side. But I don't know. Can you ever stop yourself from like feeling strongly about one thing or another? Like you're always going to have some sort of bias. I don't know if I can ever, I guess I'm speaking for me personally. I don't know if I could ever be truly neutral. Hey, it's Sparkles.
Feeling strongly about one thing or another. Like you're always going to have some sort of bias.
Echo, amazing Echo. How are you, Sparkle, once you fixed your echo?
The beach. It's so echoing?
No, I think we're good now.
Yeah, we are good now. No more echo. That's amazing. How are you, Miss Sparkle? Miss Sparkle?
Oh no. Perhaps
So,
you can't hear us.
I guess we will pass the mic to DC.
Why is it coming out my...
Oh, there she is. There she is. There's the Miss Sparkle. Are you with us now? Okay. So
I don't think she can
DC,
hear us with the playback, unfortunately.
DC, about neutrality. Any thoughts on that? Do you think we can truly be neutral about something?
Yeah, I think we can be neutral about something, like one that we don't agree, but we don't necessarily think it's the worst thing in the world. So yeah, I do think we can be neutral about stuff.
What are you neutral about? I'm curious.
I don't really think I'm neutral on anything else because I don't really pay attention to anything else, but, or at least ones I can think of at the top of my head. But yeah.
If the idea comes back to mind and you kind of know on something you're neutral about, let us know, because I got the following question. But you need to find something neutral. So is Miss Sparkle with us now? I guess not yet. So to go back on topic about neutral, So in the culture war, people pretend we cannot be neutral in the culture war. Oh my. Temporarily, it's just temporarily, Sparkle, once you get that night fixed. But maybe they are right in the end when they say we cannot be neutral about a political thing. Any thoughts on that, DC?
Yeah, you can be neutral about political stuff like war, presence, all that.
Okay. And what about you, Gray? Do you think we can be neutral when it comes to politics?
I don't know. Again, I think it would go to kind of your definition of neutrality. If it's just not supporting or like helping either side, yeah, sure. But I think I don't know. Can we truly remain impartial and not see like, okay, this guy's like acting in bad faith, where that guy seems like he's coming to this a little bit more? I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I'd have to think that if you're just going to go with not supporting or helping either side, yeah, you can be neutral. But I think with our own
Can you hear me now?
biases, I'm not sure if we can.
We can.
kinda
It's
hear you.
lighting up.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
They kind of can hear me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you, David.
Hear us.
I-
Cool. We are not.
Okay, I'm
doing it
sorry. They're
anymore,
brand
so
new
that's
headset. It's a brand new headset. It's I got Ocean Beach and they're
Well.
pretty. And my son just helped me, so I'm sorry.
Nice.
Okay, so you ready for my opinion, though? I think they're called Ocean Beach.
Do you think that
Okay.
anyone could be? Well, I guess. What would you consider neutrality first, and then do you think anyone
Not
can? Be?
fence sitting and not choosing a side. Trying to be in the middle. And then I think that's a beta move. And I don't think anyone's truly neutral. I think that everyone actually picks a side, but they just don't want to say it out loud because they're beta.
Fair enough.
Why did you pick it, Greg?
I don't think that my views are necessarily that different from you. I think there's kind of two definitions of neutrality, and if it's just not supporting or helping either side in like a conflict or something, yeah, we can all do that. I think that would be kind of the fence sitting thing. But if it's the other definition, which would be like absence of strong feelings or decided views, I don't know if we ever can be neutral in that thing. I don't think there's anything that I'm neutral on. When I hear information, I either like kind of accept that as truth or say I disagree with that. I don't know that I can truly be neutral on anything. I've been struggling all day to come up with anything I'm neutral on. And I don't know. So if that's what you're talking about, I think you're right. Like we might hide that thing and we might hide it by not helping either side. But I don't know. I guess it just kind of depends which version of neutrality we're using.
I know that there's fake people who try to pretend that they're, and like that. Like Boogie, but he's not, and not really. But I think it's like when you say that you don't have opinion on stuff, you're lying. I just think you're lying. Everyone has opinion on everything. People are opinionated.
Yeah, well, there's even the whole like bias, which is the bias of thinking that you're unbiased. So that actually makes you even more biased. You're not actually able to look at the information kind of more objectively. So that is interesting. I don't know if we ever could be truly neutral in any given thing, but I don't know. There has to be times where it's okay to not support either side if you think they're kind of both wrong. I don't know. Fence setting can't always just be wrong. Do you think?
No, I guess No, I mean not out loud when it could affect your. You could get canceled for it. There's stuff that I fence sit on that if I didn't, I'd get canceled for. So yeah.
Well, fair enough. We probably all have some of those.
I have so many takes that can get me canceled. I'm so good
I bet you do.
I'm so good at it, I swear. I'm like the pro of cancel culture,
But Gray's so nice on everything. He always looks at everything with a positive take. I kind of wonder, like, I'm trying to think of it. Yeah.
How do you do it, Dre?
I didn't think I'm very positive. I thought I was kind of a downer, but hey, you know,
No,
I've
you're
at
always
least got
so
half a
nice.
drink left.
You're nice, and you always are too nice. Sometimes you're like, oh no, I agree. What was it? The feet thing all started because you agreed with someone about feet. You know, Gray
I
likes
mean, it
feet.
exists.
You
There's
know, you like feet. You like it a lot now. Now everyone thinks you like it a
I'm
lot.
Tarantino here. I don't know. Feet do nothing for me, but you know, I guess ugly feet would. I'm not neutral on feet. I think
Sorry,
you know,
sorry.
ugly feet could definitely turn me off towards wanting to go to the beach with somebody or
Yeah,
something. But yeah,
What do you consider ugly feet?
that's a good question. Are you neutral on feet, Multi? I don't know. I think something out of the ordinary that's negative. You know, janky toes.
Okay. Well, I am actually neutral about feet, and I think it.
You're neutral about feet?
Yeah.
Really? You're telling me
Like,
like you see somebody with hobbit feet, you're not going to have any feelings whatsoever?
I don't give a crap. That's his feet.
What about your significant other? If they have hobbit feet and like just very hairy, I don't know. Are you going to have
Oh,
opinions on it?
actually, if it's my significant other, maybe I may think about it. I'm like, shave that.
Yeah, because like I could care less what like some dude I'm like, you know, on a team with what he has going on with his feet, but you know, your significant other, I think you probably do have an opinion on that. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that. You're so good at like sizing people up, as we say. I don't know what to add more to this, to be honest. Do you know something else you could add, Dre?
Just I know I'm full of like a whole bunch of biases and cognitive distortions. Yeah, I went through like a bunch of years with like heavy depression and just so negative towards myself. It was cognitive behavioral therapy that really helped me kind of see all these weird patterns of thinking, like this filtering, like, you know, the most common like example is, okay, you get 10 positive comments, but one negative comment. You're really going to focus on that negative comment. We all kind of do it. Stuff like that, it keeps you from being kind of neutral, even to yourself. Like, I know it put me in a very negative place where I was just super down on myself. And I don't know, just try and be aware of these things that everyone kind of does. And some of us do it more than others. But yeah, I think that helped me be a little bit more neutral. But I think that's perceived as positive now, because let me tell you, I used to be a really negative person. I've never kind of considered myself positive. So it's just kind of getting rid of a little bit of that negativity helped.
Well, I guess it's not positive. You always have like a nice thing to say about things. Like when you just said feet are nice. That's how it started. Yeah, you never like feet, hell, gross. You always have something really nice to say. So I don't know if it's like exactly positivity. It's just I don't know.
Worked really hard to try and get. I really would filter towards the negative, and I don't know. I don't think I'm like a super positivity person. Like I don't always see everything as like half full, but yeah, I think my biases tend towards the negative. So I've worked really hard at trying to not do that.
Yeah, you don't show that side at all, really. Yeah, I don't really see that out of you at all. So I didn't know you were like, yeah, that makes me a little sad though. You seem like such a sweet guy. You know. Now we know you're evil villain inside. Your darkness.
True, but I work hard to hide it from others. You know, we can all do that. Change. Yeah, I don't know. I just was really racking my brain to think if like there's anything I'm neutral on, and I can't come up with anything. So I don't know. I was kind of hoping somebody would tell me they can be neutral on something. I think we all kind of make these split-second decisions, and it's kind of a thing that helped us like a survival skill in the past. You know, we all have to do that. you don't make the error of that's probably nothing. You err on the side of that is something, like in the bushes, it's coming to get me, and then you survive. So I don't know. I think that's where a lot of these weird things come from, but I don't know.
Stereotyping.
I think, yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'm wondering if there is anything that we can have like absence of views on. There's things that I'm ignorant on where it's like I don't know, but even then I think I lean towards one side or the other.
Yeah.
I'm with you with that. I think it's really hard to be neutral. Since I asked myself the question, is there anything I'm neutral about? I didn't come up with any ideas. So I guess neutrality, the perfect one, is kind of challenging to get.
I kind of thought you guys were talking about net neutrality, that whole little internet thing. When you guys
I have no idea why I suggested neutrality. I couldn't remember if it was because like wars were happening at the time, or if it's because it's a political. I have no idea what neutrality was about. But I do remember it was on my stupid list.
Maybe because of the Trump and Biden thing, like.
This was months ago, so I have no clue. But yeah.
I need to be honest.
One thing that I'm kind of neutral on, like if I order water at a restaurant, like I don't care what temperature they're giving it to me at. Hey, it's Tiamat. Always awesome to see that guy. I think maybe like the temperature of a beverage, I could care less.
I care.
It's like supposed to be a hot beverage, and then it doesn't matter. I don't know. Give it to me like ice cold or room temperature. I'm cool with water anyway.
Ugh. You are evil. You're a monster. How dare you? Now I hate you. That's so gross. You gotta have ice and everything. It's gotta be cold. Unless it's hot chocolate. Yeah. Now we're fighting.
I don't know. I used to do a lot of land surveying where we'd be out in the middle of nowhere and just everything would be just heated up from being out in the middle of the desert. So I don't know. I kind of like warm water in a weird way. It's still refreshing. But fair enough. I enjoy it with ice. I guess I'm kind of neutral.
Hi, D-Lord. How are you, D-Lord?
I'm good. I saw your thing. So, in reference to what are you trying to figure out in neutrality? The discussion of the topic
here. What does neutrality mean to you?
In reference to what?
Exactly.
Are you neutral or anything?
Just when you hear neutrality, what does that mean to you?
Are we talking about now? Are we talking political neutrality, such as being an enlightened centrist, or are we talking when it comes to preferences?
Develop on
That's
both.
A really good question.
So
I suggest neutrality. But so I suggested neutrality. I cannot remember for the life of me why. Like some wars were going on. It wasn't quite election season, so I don't know if it was politically or if it was meant to be anything.
All right.
What would your definition of neutrality be? Either one. You choose.
You have one. You. There it goes.
This is why I say, right? That is it a political neutrality or is it in how you deal? There's also kind of this weird third definition, right? When you're not talking politics or something. Neutrality is okay. So if it comes to a drink preference or food, neutrality, it's different than political or dealing with relationships. You don't want to get too involved, or I should say there's three parts. So when it comes to food and preferences or just that, it's basically neutrality is you can just go with the flow or just being able to deal with one side or the other. When it comes to dealing with people, similar, but there's emotional attachments. But in political neutrality, that's a little harder. If that makes sense.
For sure. And I think that's kind of where it came to. Like, do you think that you could ever be neutral? Like so not the political one. So obviously you could not help out either side in a conflict or whatever. But do you think you could ever have the absence of decided views or strong feelings on any given subject?
I mean, I could be neutral on things, as you've dealt with me in discussions before.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to be an ass, but what are you neutral on? I've been racking my brain all day, and I can't come up with anything I'm neutral on.
Mm-hmm.
The closest I came up with is water. You came in on that part.
You're very opinionated. What are you neutral on? I gotta hear you. I gotta hear what you can say. What are you neutral on?
I'm very neutral. I'm very neutral on the truth, depending on the fact of how the truth comes out.
Okay.
Like when it's the idea of most food preferences, I'm pretty neutral on. It's just certain.
Now we're back to food.
Do not. Actually, I get called a rumor miller by a man masquerading as LARPing as a Gene Simmons wannabe, but
I don't think that's true.
But the idea I can be neutral on when it comes to discussing politics or certain things that I don't have serious investment
Like what?
in.
He can be neutral on Dev. He can be neutral on Short Pataka. He's so neutral on him. It's amazing.
How can I can be very neutral with Dev?
Oh, when?
I can't help it if he decides to stick his foot.
Oh, you can't. Good. Okay, at least you're honest. Okay, I must be honest. I mainly came joining because I was trapping. I'm evil, and I was trapping Gray because Gray won't answer my messages. He is ignoring me. Gray, why are you ignoring me?
He doesn't answer anyone's messages.
That's your reputation, Gray. That's your reputation now.
It's not just now. I suck.
Yeah.
But,
you don't suck. I understand.
Would you consider apathy to be the exact same as neutrality?
Apathy, I consider something else different. Apathy is like, take the concept of apathy is dealing with like, what is it? Apathy is kind of like what you get when you're just it's existing, because like you're not really going neutrality. You probably hate it. So the best example I've ever seen of this is like, take it in a fandom, like a lot of what Destiny players play Destiny 2, not because they like the game, because it's out of sheer apathy. The idea is the only thing they have to do. Apathy just keeps you there, and then you loathe it because it hints you have a loathing towards it, and it's not a good.
Yeah, but then that's not neutral though. If you hate it, doesn't that mean you? Isn't that like not neutral?
Apathy is very different because, like, it's fine. Like, you see, like, as a prime example, like when Bungie was asked what's the worst thing that could happen to their game at GDC conferences, was the player base becomes apathetic towards them. Which meaning that you're not empathetic, it's the opposite. Apathetic just means it's a state of existing. If that makes sense. Basically, it's like that's what kept a lot of the Destiny base alive for many, many years. And it's barely holding itself together right now. So if that answers you. Does that make sense?
It does.
Apathy is.
It seems like you do have it as a distinction between the two. What about like cynicism? Like I don't care, let it all burn, as opposed to taking a side. Would that be a form of neutrality, or?
It depends on how it's applied. Like, if you have no... So cynicism, right? If you're talking in that definition, meaning people fighting, I don't care about either side. I just want both sides to burn, and I can clean up the ashes.
I know who can be neutral. A psychopath. They have no feelings on anything. So there you go.
Then you're getting into sociopathic or empathetic.
Yeah.
Sociopath,
I don't know.
psychopath. But no, like cynicism is it's kind of like but I try to avoid that because I'll let the two fight.
Okay, real fast. I must say something real fast. Okay. I wasn't flirting. I do flirt with Gray, but I never take it too far. The only reason I was saying Gray, I want to DM me, is because I think him and I could make a podcast with Vincent, and it could be really cool and really great. I think that it would work out really well. That's why I want Gray to DM me. It has nothing to do with me flirting with him. I know he's a girlfriend. I would never do that. I respect Gray too much to sit there and be like, look at my. You know what I'm trying to say. I almost just said too much.
I was joking.
Okay. Yeah,
I
you butt face.
I'll
You
say
know.
this. So you have to understand, Vin is very contrarian by nature.
Vin. Now you're calling him Vin? Did he really make you that mad?
Okay. Looks like we have agreed that we'll restart his internet.
So basically, you have to. So when you're talking about cynicism, right? Neutrality to me has a different aspect. It's all how it's applied. I mean, if you can stay neutral and discuss a subject without emotion, it doesn't mean you're psychopathic. Now, when you get into politics or social situations, it's hard to have neutrality. Does that make sense?
It does make sense because we always have a stance, even if we don't really have a stance that people want us to get.
Yes. In gaming, a lot of people are apolitical or very neutral. They just take it as it goes. That's kind of like, but if a game
Give me an example.
As I said, with Destiny or something, like Destiny 2, a lot of people play it. They don't enjoy the game 100%. They're just there existing. I mean, the worst thing a game devs fear is apathy. Not just them.
But if they really have apathy, why Destiny? Why not another game?
How many games do you have as a prime example? Can you play with?
Probably nostalgia. That's why they play it still, right?
Why? How many people? Games do you have? You can play with a friend. We all have that situation. Like COD stays alive by this a little bit too. Well, it's the only game people have, so we play it.
I got Halo, and I got friends that have Halo, so yeah.
Halo, depends. There really is.
What did you say?
I have Halo.
Oh, Halo.
Yeah.
Okay. You say
No,
okay.
Halo, like the shooter.
Halo. Okay, I was thinking something. It sounded totally. Never mind. Green looks really good on you, Multi. Just so you know.
That's good. And we got the gray back.
You got the gray back. Just fix the shoulder a little bit. It just looks that crease. There's a huge crease.
Stay neutral to your t-shirt wearing, Multi. It's just fine.
Or I can do this as well. There we go.
No, don't do that. No. I hate Barbie's face.
Hell yeah, that's all we do. We got 2 waifu on the panel right now.
But no, like when you're talking about it, right? Like
what?
The thing is, that's why I say it's very different.
I'm not a waifu.
So like the worst thing you can have, right, in a game that if you treat it is something that's an apathetic state, there's usually very little emotion and it turns into loathing. So as soon as something bad happens, right, it's like that's why a lot of live service games pretty much fail. Because it's like, oh, the devs just want you on a hamster wheel, so you're just here.
Well, I use neutrality as like fence sitting.
Neutrality is different. Like some people are weird. Like that's why I said it's how it's used. But the idea is once something hits a certain state outside of a situation someone has something involved in, that's why neutrality is different versus cynicism. See, a lot of people take this election right now. They don't. It's very interesting watching how that's playing out. There's a lot of cynicism in this election. It's not even apathy or neutrality. You either see cynicism or you see sheer apathy. I've seen it more common. I think cynicism is basically the other side needs to burn no matter what, right?
The way to do it.
Basically, like everything just needs to. It's like, you know how many people I've seen in the U.S. and I'm trying to do research on my own for my own, like something I have a discussion with Gray on what I'm trying to do, but on the election, like for us, like you have to understand, it's not the fact that you have two people who are fundamentally diametrically opposed, two groups that can't see it, but it's only taken how long? Because Democrats, right? Like you gotta understand, the reason why I say it's cynicism, there's a side that there is no neutrality in the politics. You're either supporting Trump or you're supporting Biden. You're supporting Trump because he's being railroaded, or you support what he believes.
Well, I looked up examples of neutrality, and it gave me there's neutral personality traits, like reserved, adaptable, practical, cautious, analytical, unassuming, tolerant. So I think maybe here it has more. Balanced.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if we're looking at it wrong.
That's why I say That's why I say, what context are you looking at it in? Yeah. Because in reality, right, if you're going to stay neutral in a stance to discuss a topic, that's different. But like as I say, cynicism is a downside, where when you want everything to burn, that's based on what the premise that Gray did. Apathy is a different animal altogether.
Well, and then also, you mean refusal to take part of a war between other powers too. So
apathy is also like taking a stance where you don't really care. You're on your own side. You're not really on either side, but you're on your own side. That would make, by extension, a neutrality case there. Because you don't necessarily care about it, but that's your stance. So that's a stance anyway. That's more like what I think I'm saying here.
So that's why I say yes. Like neutrality, it's like, it's easy for me to say very neutral in a matter if I don't have an interest. That's why I say I look at everything, most stuff in the shades of gray, so to speak. Unless there's, and I usually follow the truth. That's why I say the truth is very neutral to me. You can't really obfuscate anything from it. But the truth also hurts a lot of people's feelings.
Ray, which one do you think that you were thinking of? Because I looked up and how to use neutrality in sentences, and it's like it gives like political ways to use it, or like even with paint colors. What do you think you were meaning when you were wanting to talk about neutrality? Oh, he's gone again. Oh, he's right there. I see him right there.
Yeah, maybe it's his internet. Because of that, I think that tonight's show will be kind of short. If we can get him back. Are you back with us, Gray?
Sort of. Like every like 20th word or something I get, and then all of a sudden it just spinning circle icon for myself. So I'm thinking my internet is just unstable. I'll reset the router. I don't know. There's no storm.
Oh wait, are you hot where you are? Oh yeah, he's carrying.
Yeah.
Well, since we don't even know what we're talking about, we might as well.
I mean, I will say though, Gray, go into your type CMD and reset your DNS. Like basically try that, and it might clear something up, because I'm assuming you restarted here. So if it's internet related, you need to just reset it.
And then alligators' lives matter isn't even talking.
That's your show now. Neutrality. Have you found something since the last time we asked you about something you are neutral about?
Not really.
Not really. That's unfortunate. No.
Switzerland is supposed to be neutral. That's what this says.
And what's matter?
It says example of it. Where is that? It says, damn it! I just looked at. Okay, everyone noticed while the Swiss are known for their neutrality. I say it weird. Wouldn't it surprise me if they'd been something in Switzerland? That's all. So that was the example. That's what it said.
I wouldn't call the Swiss are neutral when it comes to a political nature, unless something the side favors them. Then they'll switch. They don't try to even. I mean, it's like, well, okay, Swiss banks are neutral. Yeah, but the idea is, unless they take a stance or they're being invaded. You gotta bear in mind, they, World War II, it's like, oh, you do the whole thing of Nazis go to Switzerland, like, oh, be nice, or the Vatican takes a neutral stance. That's why I said, is it emotional, is it political, or is it an attitude? The two things. That's why I said we need to figure out what's gray. By the way, Gray, you might need to hard reset your thing too. And if it's a mic related thing, check the jack.
Because I'm just reading example quotes, and like another one is the new neutral paint colors. While true white isn't quite right, these shades of neutrality and warmth. So you get, I don't know which one we're talking about. And then, or the Paris Agreement also sets forth a pathway for the global carbon neutrality by the second half of the century. So
since Gray is lagging a bit, or I should say a lot, I think we will make tonight's show shorter. So what do you have going on your end of the internet, DC?
Like I said, I uploaded 2 videos yesterday. Basically, it's an analysis of one of my characters and my thoughts on John Cena retiring on the day. Other than that, I even still in the video, I'm kind of struggling with recording. But yeah, just one video planned. But yeah.
Okay. What about you, Miss Sparkle?
I want to do a podcast with Gray and Vincent, and I think our next topic should be about how Multi is a waifu.
Hell yeah!
I have a video with Ben the Wizard. There's a video out here of me with him talking with him about my dream. Check that out, because Ben's amazing.
That sounds amazing. What about you, Gray? Since you have mic issues, internet issues, maybe text in the chat. Rip.
Look for that.
What about you?
I'm just waiting to. I had my morning shopping done, and I meant to go set up a computer. So I have my own. Not to say I'm streaming right now and doing 2 things at once, but I have my own, and I'm going to be setting up my new computer, as well as gaming streams, and I do have commentary topics because I have. I was going to discuss I need to actually look at the fallout from the debate and the discussion as it's going on. Then I have some other commentary topics. One just dropped in my lap as well. The concept of perception of. It's after something how 2 sides perceive each other. How you can have fake fandoms and basically the YouTube reactionary content. It's gonna be fun. I gotta figure out how to phrase it, but
he's also trying to convince me that Dev is horrible and he's fighting with Frogman. Oh, and someone else. He's fighting with someone else now.
I don't fight with. I'm only fighting with. I'm only fighting with an Eastern European vampire. It's not even a fight. I've already vanquished him. He just believes he's a Gene Simmons wannabe, and he believes he can draw or design stuff in web paint. And he has the music tastes of hair metal in the 80s.
It was not sexy, Gray. What are you talking about? What do you mean? What are you saying, sexy? What did he just say?
No, but seriously,
the
like
muscular guy in chest. The way to do it.
no, but no. I have the. It's also too. I find that I might have to do a topic into fandoms, and basically the idea of objectivity asides, because want to talk about. I had a thing coming up with Gray that I was going to discuss with him on the election or the debate, but as I said, I think it's interesting that how one side of the internet, if they make reactionary content, use creators. But I got to figure out how to phrase it because it's very interesting. Because multi. Here's what I'm finding. But they go, you don't understand. One side goes, how does someone watch the other side? And I'm like, okay, people watch you because they find you entertaining. Just because you don't find the other people entertaining, why do you watch them? And also, if you don't watch them, why do you judge the others on the other side? It's like me with Frogette or Fraud Tony, his stuff. His audience does not care about it, like half of what he talks about. But the other side, when I do stuff with Renown, they're all up in our business, and I'm like, people go, "You're not entertaining, and you're a liar." I'm like, then why do you go and talk to us? Right? Stay in your side of the internet. We don't care. We won't talk about it.
I like to watch the opposing side, so maybe they're watching you to watch the opposing side. You got to be ahead of your enemies. You got to be ahead.
Well, that's half of it, but at the same time, the concept doesn't work because the guy can't create content.
So you just like to argue with me.
I used to think there was a little bit in these people, there was common sense, but now I'm just finding out they're just mouthpieces for other people. And then someone has the nerve to say, literally this one woman on stream says, she goes, so how can Tony be a fake geek if he goes to a gaming convention? That's easy. You don't give a shit about everything there, or you only care about the small thing and you're just going for just sheer whatever.
Do you have to care about everything there to be a true geek?
Well, I mean, if you're going to go over, too many games, right, is an interesting conviction.
Are you what do they call it? Gating? Are you
It's
what is it called?
glitching a bit. We got a Robo Sparkle.
Oh, okay, sorry. I feel like you're gatekeeping comics. I mean, nerd stuff, geek stuff.
We still got
It's still why?
Robo.
No, I hear her fine.
Oh, maybe it's on my end of
so
whatever.
I don't. It's not about gatekeeping, right? Because I get accused of that. I find it weird. Look, if someone just admits they're an attack dog of EVS or they're a simp, fine. I don't care.
Yeah, you do.
I'm just saying. I judge you differently, but you got to understand.
You judge me. You judge me when I say I'm Dev simp. You don't like it.
I don't care if you like Dev. Someone has to like Dev.
I think Multi wanted to go.
Yeah, I think it's the right moment now. So Friday, since you are all here,
You know I love you.
what time is better, 10:30 p.m. or 11:30 p.m. for the Acolyte and by stream?
Either way, works out which way. I hear this is a great episode. And
is that guy the Flash? Is that the Flash that's playing in that movie, in that show? Is that Ezra Miller?
Hell yeah.
Is it?
Crazy.
It is?
No, it's not. It's
okay.
It's like Manny Pacquiao or something.
Okay. Because Space Ice called it Ezra Miller. So I was like, okay.
No, he gets
Crazy
called,
Miller is their name.
He gets called Smilo Ren kind of a thing, but it's like he's had his but Multi too, by the way. You know that episode, I know you I'll say
we probably should talk about it later.
Yeah.
You know
Friday.
do you know that concept? You know the problem
I'm
with
out.
like the boys, right?
Yeah, I know it was too offensive, and
Oh,
we are out.
it's literally